Hello, Gemini, and welcome. This is Kat's Real Life Mystic Tarot. Thanks for joining me. I know I'm not easy to find. I'm a new channel. Given that I'm a new channel, please, if you like this reading, like, share, subscribe. Um, I was clearing my energy and thinking about Gemini for September 2019, and I got a real interesting image. I got the image of you sitting at a piano and almost in kind of a meditative state, and you were playing the keys and they were really resonating strongly. Like there's a strong tone to the keys, and you were listening very carefully for this guidance from these tones. And what I took from that is a piano has black and white keys. So I feel like there is a decision to be made in September, and you're listening very carefully and trying to make that decision and using your intuition, using guidance, listening to other people's advice, listening, trying to make the right decision very carefully. So that was my meditation for you in September. And I also got the Chariot card. When I usually draw a major arcana just for the energies of September. Now, whether a huge event's going to happen or not, we don't know yet. Once I get into the cards, we'll see that. But it looks like you're going to be moving forward. In any case, you're moving in some direction. So possibly that's linked to the decision that you're going to make. So we'll unfold the cards and see what we have for you. Okay, so I've pre-shuffled everything, and we're going to use the ViceVersa Tarot and the Klimt Tarot. I do a horoscope reading, so I'm going to get some information from every facet of your life. What I usually do is get directed to where I find the major arcana located. So whether it's going to be an relationship reading, a career reading, life path reading, I don't know yet. So I can't tell you. Maybe it'll be in the headline a little bit what the major focus is. But right now I don't know. Now, one thing I'm seeing that popped out right now is the Seven of Wands. So you're going to have to do some serious battle. Looks like you're under some serious competition. You have to beat out quite a lot of competitors. It's going to be, it's going to require everything from you. So that was something that just came up. So we'll get into it. I threw that back in the deck. Maybe we'll see where that comes up if it does decide to come up again for us. Okay. Okay. So right off the bat, we've got a little bit of either creativity or lover relationship issue. We've got something going on in the home, and your first card is of making a choice or decision. So now I'm going to go through with the Klimt Tarot. All right, Gemini, here we go. So in your first house, I'm going to go there first because it is the first house, and also you have a major arcana there. So we have the Lovers. Now, whether this is literally the Lovers or not, I'm not exactly sure at this point, but it does show, it usually indicates making a decision. So it can be making a decision between two people, two relationships, two jobs. It can be anything along those lines. And I'm also seeing another major arcana in your first house, and that's the 20, which is Judgment or Awakening. Now, first of all, your first house is really about how you're presenting to the world, how people are seeing you. It's really very much kind of on a surface level. So I think others are aware that you need to make a decision and you're getting a calling. I mean, there's something that's drawing you. Now, if it's a lover, it could be that they know that, you know, there might be a circle of friends that do know you're having an affair and that you have to make a decision. It could mean that in the relationship realm, it could mean like a possible divorce or going through a rough patch and you need to make a decision. There's an awakening. Maybe an incident happened where there's an awakening to, you know, something's not working or something is working. It could be either of those extremes. So yes, so we're still reiterating there's movement for you. There's a decision to be made, and it's an extremely, like, it's guided by spirit, what's happening. This is guided by spirit. So very important. Now, why it's in your first house, I'm not sure yet, but in your first house, just being your outer self, or, you know, it could be, now, this is on a very different level, but it could be like maybe an impending surgery or something that you want to have done and you're making a decision about that. Well, it could be another thing, gastric bypass, anything along those lines. So it can be something that just really involves your image, but is a huge decision. Okay, so second house energies, we're going to go past that for now. Third house energies, skip that for now, and fourth house. Okay, so fourth house. Okay, so you are in a pause mode, and now your fourth house is your home. What's going on in your home? It can have something to do with your mother and or father, but what I'm seeing here is there's a pause. You can't make a decision right now. It has something to do with children or your past. So this can, for some of you, it might be that if we're going back to the divorce scenario or separation scenario, you're waiting to make a decision, your concerns about the kids, this being the kids card and this pausing. If it has something to do with your family or something to do with, you know, your mom or dad, there might be a purpose in getting together for, and this can be because something's going on with a parent. It could be a health issue, although it doesn't look like a big crisis, but there could be where you're communicating with your siblings or that, or there could be something going on where you're in touch with, or you might have to go back home and hang out for a while. So maybe you're taking time off work, you're going to go back home and, you know, figure out what's going on there. Okay, so your fifth house, we did have a major arcana there, and Wheel of Fortune and Seven of Swords. So in this case, okay, I'm going to go back to the scenario where there might be a divorce or separation. You have concerns that there's going to be a theft of your financial, like someone's going to take you for a ride financially. If it's a business partner, it could be something like that. We'll have to look to your seventh house if it's a business partner, because right now it's not really saying that as yet. But there is there's a feeling that something's going to be taken from you, and there's a sense of loss, or that you may have a loss. If you are in a creative pursuit, there could be someone you're working with that's running off with your ideas. It's possible that there is a child that you have that's been caught doing something wrong at school or is in trouble. So if you have a child that's quite possibly could be in trouble with the law, you might have to spend a little money for a lawyer or what have you, or just at school. It could be something like that. So there's a little bit of trouble with this Seven of Swords issue, and this appeared upside down, your Wheel of Fortune. So some kind of financial fluctuation. Your sixth house, seventh house. Let's go to your seventh house since we are on relationships. And again, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the Two of Pentacles. So Wheel of Fortune in reverse in your 5th and 7th, I'm seeing that there is a partner. It could be a business partner, or it could be a relationship partner that wants to drain your finances if possible, or if you have mutual finances, wants to take the lion's share right now. It shows 2 jobs. So if you're both working, the ability for this person to take more money, or that might be because you have the greater income or something along those lines. Conversely, if this is a business partner, it could be that the finances aren't really there for your business, or if it's starting to make money, they no longer want to invest in it. Could be something along that, because the 7th house is your marriage partner, or it can be a business partner. Can be legal proceedings as well, like for instance, a lawyer or someone who's kind of working with you. So it's possible that to resolve, if you are having this separation, or that to resolve it is going to cost you some money. As I said, the Wheel of Fortune again in reverse in the 7th house, 7th and 5th house. So it has something to do with children. Your marriage can have something to do with a business partner or a creative partner. 8th house. This is other people's money. Okay. So again, there's something going on with Ace of Pentacles is sometimes a sum of money, and the 9 of Wands is a burden that's being carried. So it's possible that there's some money, once again, that has been spent that might be required back from you because it belongs to someone else. Could be a loan, debts, something along those lines. So you may have to take out a loan to take care of certain burden, and that will release you from the burden. So yeah, I am seeing that maybe it's going to be necessary to take out a loan or some other financial matter to handle the situation. 8th house is other people's money, sex, taxes, death, those types of things you don't talk about in polite company, you could say, you usually don't get into. But yeah, so yours seems to be about money and a burden from money and having to rectify that situation. 9th house. Okay, so 9th house we'll get to. 10th house. Okay, so 10th house. Let's go here, because this is going to make you feel a little bit better, I think. In the 10th house, there's some peace, and there's the 4 of Swords here, and generosity, or balancing of the books. So it's saying, Gemini, don't worry too much. You're going to be able to handle it. The 10th house is your house of reputation, who you are out in the world, how you handle business. It's a career house. There seems like there is money that will be made available to you to handle any financial issues you have going through this process that you're going through, and this decision that you're trying to make. You're going to be able to get some funds. So don't worry. The worst, handle whatever's coming up for you emotionally, or whatever's going on. The money situation is going to work out, even though it might require paperwork and strife and dealing with bureaucracy and all that stuff. You're going to be fine. So you're going to be fine with that. 11th house. Okay, so 11th house. So I'm seeing kind of in your social world, and that's what 11th house is, in your social world, social groups, Instagram, what have you, Facebook. I see you possibly coming across as happy, and that even though you're going through this fight, you know, this is going to serve you. It's fine that you can not portray things to be exactly what they are, because in the case of creating, you know, this a picture that's not really as painful as it is, you are creating it, because what you create in your mind is kind of how things you know, whatever is in your mind is what you draw into your world. You know, it starts from the inside to create the outside. So I feel that yeah, it's not a bad thing to go on Facebook and or wherever and post that everything's okay, and in a way it's going to make everything okay. So we have the Nine of Cups here: happiness, comfort, you know, relaxation, and we have a fighter here. So I think you're fighting like the negative energy, and that's absolutely appropriate in the situation you're in. I think it's going to be just fine. And as I'm seeing, like in your upper houses, and these are the houses of actual manifestation and not what's going on in your mind in that, you're doing okay. You're going to be able to handle it. Things will come through. It's just not, you know, it's a little bit of a crisis in September. So that was your 11th house. Now your 12th house is very interesting, because your 12th house is about what you don't know, what's unseen to you, what's going on behind the scenes. That's going to crop up probably later. Oh, okay. And here we go. Okay, so what I'm getting here is the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. So, my dear, you may have a new paramour coming up later. This is unseen to you, but you have someone new maybe coming slowly, someone from work possibly. This is an earth energy. What is that? Taurus, Capricorn, and who else? Taurus, Capricorn, and who's my other earth? Virgo. I should remember that. My sister's a Virgo. So, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Not, oops, sorry. I just knocked my thing. Not necessarily those signs, but may just have an earth energy or come across as an earth energy. They could have an ascendant that's in that, and they might be a Leo sun, but they might come across to you as just being kind of, you know, slow, steady, and good with money and that type of thing. So this person might come along. It might be someone that can just help you with your situation, but it looks, because you have the Queen of Cups, looks like there's some possible romance there. So this is something unseen to you happening in the future. So yeah, just a little secret happening. Since we were talking briefly about your mental energies, I just want to go into that really quickly. You're going through a difficult passage. You're feeling very competitive. So you have a tendency to want to get into the fight of things. You're going to want to compete. When someone comes to you with something, you're ready for them. You know, you're really on target with your arguments and that type of thing. You're really able to push your ideas forward. So now, conversely, and in your mind, you're thinking about how this can possibly go, and you're strategizing. Be careful that it doesn't, you know, part of these strategizing and stuff like that will help you on your passage, through the situation. And this is from turbulent waters to calmer waters. You are going to a better situation, but, you know, you're pretty much prepared mentally to deal. Be careful that it doesn't make things a little bit more turbulent. Try to measure yourself with these energies. And it's in your thoughts and in your mind, and it's not bad to strategize. It's probably a good idea to do so. Okay, so the second house is about your money, and we talked about that a lot already. So here's where your Seven of Wands comes in. You remember earlier, and it was the other deck where the Seven of Wands popped out, and I was saying it's going to take everything you have. It's going to take a lot of energy. Okay, this is coming out in your money house. So I definitely think there's some money issue. You're going to have a brilliant idea to handle all of that. And like we said, you know, later here in the 10th house, money's coming. You'll be able to get a loan or get help, or something's going to come through. Possibly karmically, because this is what you give, you'll receive. You know, it's a kind of an even exchange. So there's money that will come one way or another, and you will have peace. So in your money house, it is, you know, this is the card that came up. So I think there's a lot of concerns in that area. You have to make a decision. There is some concerns about finances. It's going to take everything you have to make it through this situation. It may involve your 5th and 7th house, which is a relationship or marriage, and kids at some point. So we did go through that. 6th house of work, let's just go there really quick. Both of these came, oh, okay, one of them came up reverse. Peace and King of Swords. So King of Swords, you're very smart about your job, what the job you do during the day. You're very much appreciated because this is as brilliant as it gets. You're very good at what you're doing, Gemini. And this is also your card, you know, an air sign card. 2 of Swords, this one came up reversed. So be careful about making a decision too quickly. Really weigh it out. Take an impartial look at it. Have other people look at it for you. Help you to, now don't take their advice. You just need a lot of pros and cons. Maybe do that list of pros and cons about the various things, you know, the choices you can make. Okay? So that's that. Let me just draw a card. This is a new deck. This is the Enchanted Map Oracle deck. And let's just see what it has to say to you about this choice, this financial situation, relationship situation, anything along those lines. What message it has for you. Okay, so this says rock bottom. So basically, you are having that bit of dark night of the soul. I get that already from your reading. But as we're saying, as I looked at the upper part, this is, it's working out in your outer life. You're going to have these experiences that you'll be able to make teaching moments of for others. You're going to have the experiences that will wizen you, and you will, and in fact, it might even give you career ideas because you might be so good at dealing with the financial aspects or the relationship aspects. You might be able to counsel people. I mean, so you're going through something that's going to pay off in the long run, for you to teach others, help others. You're going to become possibly your calling, the person you're going to be. Remember, we had this, you had a calling and a decision to make. And it had to do with a calling, an awakening. That's how that ties in. So I'm so excited for you, Gemini. Let me quickly, you know, because I think this might be necessary. The universe has your back. Has my back. Sorry, that's what it is. And let's get just a little insight or mantra or something for our path. Okay, Gemini. I recognize that I have chosen fear, and I choose again. I choose love. I recognize that I have chosen fear, and I choose again. I choose love. That's what you're going to learn in September, going through this process that's going to be a boon for you. Thank you so much, Gemini. Be strong. You got this, and it's going to have an awakening in a moment for you. Take care.